This channel is not for children, neither is it for the weak of heart or mind. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. I was asked recently, how should someone on the left-hand path perceive what's going on right now in our society? Now with the demonstrations, the riots, the looting, so on and so forth, and also with who knows what else. The divisiveness, let's say. Well, the left-hand path is an individualist path. It's the path of the individual. So everyone's going to perceive it slightly differently. But right there, you are an individual first and foremost. You're not going to perceive it through the lens of a collectivist. You will not be swept up by mob mentality. You cannot be swept up by mob mentality. I don't care what color you are or what rung of society you come from. You are going to perceive it as an individual. All right, and here are the basic facts. Society is not more racist. There are not more racist cops than there were in the past. Quite the opposite. We are less racist than we've ever been. It's just that everybody you know is walking around with a video camera in their pockets. So you're going to see a whole lot more of this. Trust me, back in the 1960s, if everyone walked around with a video camera, you would see what happened to George Floyd almost every day. Now, I'm not excusing it. I'm not excusing what that fucking cop did. That son of a bitch deserves to be fed into a wood chipper slowly, toes first, along with the other three. Hell, I've been hassled by cops myself numerous times, having long hair, goatee, and tattoos. Hollywood, when I lived in Hollywood, LA cops. A little story. I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, going to a local corner store to buy frozen dinners for my daughters. All right, this was back in the 90s. Cop car pulls up, sees me. They jump out of the car. It was male and female cops. The male cop grabs me, pushes me up against the wall, and starts frisking me. I hadn't done anything. Like I said, I was walking down the street just because they didn't like the way I looked. And after a while, even the female cop was going, to the male cop saying, you should lighten up a bit. Because I kept asking, what the hell did I do? I've been pulled over. This is also in LA. Pulled over by a bicycle cop. I was waiting at a stoplight. He points to the corner and told me to pull over. He ran a check on me. He thought for sure, just because of my physical appearance, he thought for sure he was going to find something. He didn't. And he threw my license back at me and told me to stay out of trouble. So and there's been other incidences also. So I have no great love of cops, but I understand the necessity for them. Now, and another thing I understand anger. I understand frustration. I'm not going to pretend like I know what it is to be a black man in America, because I don't. But I detest authority. I detest authoritarian politics. And authoritarian politics comes from both sides. You're kidding yourself if you think the Democrats are better than the Republicans or the Republicans are better than the Democrats. They're laughing at you. In Washington and New York and and amongst their ilk, they think we're fools. They play us for pawns. They all know each other. They all went to school with each other. They're playing a great big game. And they love the divisiveness that's going on. They love it because it keeps them in power. Now, when it comes to the rioting, all right, what's happening right now, people are wondering, why is it so bad now compared to others? For instance, in Ferguson, for example, it mainly stayed in Ferguson. You know, there might have been some peaceful protests in other places. And also going back to the 90s in LA, it basically, with Rodney King, it basically stayed in LA. Now, why is it so pervasive all over the country? Well, what's been going on for the past 10 weeks or more? People have been quarantined. People have been shut in, shut away from one another, from society. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? It's like pressing down a spring. The further you press it down and then you suddenly let go, what do you think's going to happen? It's a natural reaction amongst human beings, if you will. But the problems with the rioting, I'm not talking about protesting. Not at all. That's one of our great rights. Do it. Protest. But the rioting and the vandalism and the beatings and so on and so forth, what it'll do, it'll give the authoritarians more right to be authoritarian. Meaning they're going to be putting more cameras on street corners. The cops are going to gear up more and they're going to look more like military units instead of police officers. This is just going to give them the authority, those in the position of authority, more justification for their actions. It's going to backfire. But, like I said, people have been locked up for the past 10 weeks. What the fuck do you expect?